Hello everyone, welcome to Holistic Life Transformation, this time with a book review of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I say Tolle, not you would say Tolle maybe because he's German and we would say Tolle. Anyway, I will describe 8 core messages which are the most important for me. You probably could find more if you want to, or even less. It is totally up to you, because the book is written in a way that actually you can bring it down to one sentence. Maybe you are not your mind, or you're not a voice in your head, but this will not help you at all, so it makes sense to elaborate a bit on it. And so anyway, I will have 8 core messages that I will tell you. And before we start, I'm going to tell you about Eckhart Tolle, who was born in Germany, and he's a spiritual teacher and author, and The Power of Now was published first in 1997, and nowadays he lives in Vancouver. And I think in the United States or North America in general, he's quite well known, and I don't know, famous or not, but if you are interested in self-development, you will probably know him. And if you haven't read the book, I really can recommend it to read it, and let's see what it is about. So here we are at the first one. You are not your mind. He describes it in a situation when he was quite depressive, and he was lying on a bed at night, and he had thoughts about suicide, and he described as his the key moment when he said, "I cannot live with myself any longer." And then he was basically thinking about who is saying that to me, and who is it I cannot live with myself any longer. And he realized there is the I and the self, because when you feel like in this voice is in your head and say, "I cannot live with myself any longer," who is saying that, and who is this I and this myself? And he said that actually only one can be real. And the voice talking in our head is not who we are. This is the first core message. And once you realize that, you will see it is true. We have all the time this voice talking and talking and talking, but it is not us thinking it. Actually, it just comes through our mind, and we are actually just the observer, if you want. So the question is, how can we free ourselves from this voice, from our mind that seems to be us? First, the mind is a useful tool, and no matter what we say now, the mind is bad, the voice is bad, whatever, it's after all it's a useful tool. But the problem is that we lost control over time, and what we have to gain back is control. And we need the mind for our daily life, but it should not use us and control us. So what you can actually say is that thinking has become a disease, and we don't know how to stop it. When you observe yourself, you will realize that you think and think and think all the time without a pause. And this is basically the problem of our time, and you can see the results in our daily life. Just turn on the news and you will see the results of this behavior. And the next problem is that actually we not only hear this voice, but we identify ourselves with it. And this is a false identification with the thinker, with the voice. When you like you driving with the car and then the guy in front of you does something which you don't like, you immediately start to get enraged and what is he doing, and use all kind of bad language which your mother probably told you not to use but you do anyway. So in this moment, stop for a moment, yeah, and watch the thinker. Who is this voice actually? It's not who you are. And when you stop the mind, you will notice that there is a vast realm of intelligence beyond this thinking. There's just this knowing, this bigger presence behind the mind. And so this is the second core message that I think is really important, to free yourself from your mind, from the thinker in your head. So the next one is understanding how your mind works. And therefore, for this you have to understand the voice in your head. How is it working? How is it influencing you? And what you will notice is that it's continuously commenting, speculating, judging, worrying, analyzing, comparing, anything all the time. This is actually the task of the mind. This is why it's so useful, because we can quickly analyze our situation and act accordingly. And sometimes we don't have much time. We have to do it fast, quick, and decisively. But we forgot, or we don't know anymore how to stop this continuous commenting. And we also have this, beside this voice, we have these images and mental movie going through our head. Just imagine you think about a situation in the past and you continuously think about this, what happened, and you imagine it. What did you say to your boss and how did it go? And then you think, oh, I should have said this one, I should have done this. And or you project to the future, you imagine whatever you're going to do, and you overdo it over and over and over again in your head, and you don't live in the present moment. And this one you have to understand. The mind always keeps you busy. And yes, the mind conditioned by your past history is conditioned by your past history, your belief systems, and your cultural identity. So whatever you are thinking and seeing in this mental movie and these images is basically downloaded out of your subconscious mind, out of your conditioning. And how you react is stored in this subconscious mind. And whenever you encounter a situation that is similar to that, you just play the program that fits to this situation. And someone calls you like you're a fool, and what are you doing? Okay, when someone is calling you a fool, you have to call him a fool as well. So this is what you did in the past, and this is what you're going to do automatically, and you don't even think about it. This is when you are really unconscious, and this is how the mind is basically working. Now, what you have to do is to rise above thought, and this is whenever you hear the voice talking, which is basically always, you have to consciously listen to it. And in this moment you create a space between yourself, your true self, and this thinker, this mind, the voice in your head. So you get this awareness of the thought and yourself as the witness of the thought. Just try it if you want to try it, and you can feel the presence of your consciousness, which is your true deeper self. And this is the way how you can take back control. Now I will just make a quick example. It's a quick exercise, which is I'm stop talking for an undefined period of time. So here I'm back again. Did you observe yourself? What were you thinking? You didn't expect me to stop talking, but I did, and you were thinking maybe, what is he doing? What is happening right now? Okay, what is he up to, or something like that? Did you realize it? And it was quite something, yeah, the silence, right? You realize the silence, and you may have been confused about it, and you start automatically to think about it. What's happening? What's going on? This was a thinker. In this moment, you can realize, you can see how it is working, and if you are aware, you can actually take back control of your thoughts. And the next important thing is that your emotions are connected to your thoughts. So whatever you are thinking can cause corresponding emotions. And when you are unaware of your thoughts, and you cannot control them, you cannot control your emotions as well. So the body's reactions to your mind are the emotions. So identification with the mind leads to stronger emotions, and doing so unconsciously. So you're getting angry, getting upset, you're getting bored, desperate, whatever, just because of something you think which you're not even aware of, or which you may not have to think even. You just think some useless thought which is not serving you nor anyone else, and due to this thought you feel so bad and miserable, whatever. And so this causes an emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. It seeks expression. You cannot suppress emotion. This will make you sick, ill, uncomfortable. Sooner or later this emotion will break free. It's pure energy. So whenever you have emotion, let it out. You have to let it out. You have to let it out, or you can, if it's a negative emotion, you can even transform it, but you cannot stop it. And what happens when you have this emotion? You attract people with similar emotions. When you are angry all the time, you have latent anger inside of you. You will come into situations where you either meet angry people, or where something is happening which makes you even more angry, or some accident even. You can. These are the moments when you are angry or in another emotional state. And for example, you're driving a car or riding a bike, and you are distracted by this strong emotion, this feeling, and this is when accidents happen to people. And what you have to do is lose your mind and come to your senses. Stop thinking, go into the feeling, and get into tune with your body, with your feeling, with who you really are, not with who you think you are, with who you think you are. And then you have thoughts and emotions feed each other. So when you have I feel so bad, I don't know why, but I feel boring today, Sunday, raining, I don't know what to do, I feel boring. And then you have a bad mood. Out of this bad mood, you feel even more bored, you have another bad thought, you say, oh, I feel so miserable, and this creates an even stronger emotion. So they feed each other. And when you are present, you can break this pattern, this vicious pattern. And what helps me to get rid of emotions is detaching the story from the emotion to transform this emotion. So whatever for example, you're in a situation where I really get angry, and you feel this emotion, And what you can do is just, you have a reason, right? We have a thought which nourishes this emotion. But when you detach the story behind this emotion, then you actually feel you can transform this emotion into something positive. Oh, I feel so angry. Why do you feel angry? I don't know why I feel angry. And it feels just so good. I feel so angry. It's just an amazing feeling. And this is how it can transform this anger, by detaching the story from the emotion. And then you can accept and act as if you have chosen this moment. So this gives you back control over the situation. No matter what is happening around you, you can say, okay, I have chosen this moment. I make this moment like it is. I accept it. I appreciate it. And you don't see yourself as a victim of the situation, of what is happening. You say, okay, I choose it. I realize it. I am present. I'm thankful. And this is how you can get rid of emotion as well, especially negative one. Now, what happens over time is that the more and more pain or bad emotions you accumulate, you create an so-called pain body. This is how Tolle calls it. And this is accumulating and getting bigger and bigger, and it can be triggered by a resonating event. So you may have noticed times when you were in good mood and suddenly someone said something which is like really get you really digging deep into you, like something which really makes you feeling crazy and angry, like pushing the button, and then all the anger is released and you will feel angry and shouting, and you feel like this is not myself. After you did all of this, you will realize, oh, I haven't been myself. Often you hear even the people who killed someone else or did something violent, afterwards you will hear them saying, it's not me, it was someone took control of me or something like that. And I honestly observe this in myself as well in certain situations, and this is when you realize this is not myself. What happened? What did just happen? And don't make the mistake to misinterpret this as your personality. It's just a self-created illusion of yourself. This is the pain body. And people shouting at each other, fighting each other, are not actually those two people, but it's the pain body of person A against pain body of person B. And by triggering this pain body, releasing this anger or this pain, whatever, it gets actually stronger. It needs this negative emotion as an energy, and it will feed this pain body and make it bigger. And what you can do is, this is already the last core message, to get rid of this pain body, is move deeply into the now. The resistance to the now is the dysfunction, the collective dysfunction in society. So we keep thinking about the past, what happened and what we should have done, and what a great time at the past. I was sportive, I was in the military, I did so great things, and you keep saying this over and over again. You live in the past, in the past glory and the good old days, right? And while doing so, you forget to live actually the current moment. And also, we think about the future. We are worrying all the time. We are, oh, if something is happening, maybe you hear your mother saying, take care of yourself, and I'm just worrying. I mean, it is okay, everyone doing it, especially mothers and parents. But what are we doing is we are worrying about an event that could happen in the future. But most of the time nothing is happening, but we still keep worrying. And first of all, this is creating negative energy, negative emotion. This brings us out of the present moment, and this makes us actually unhappy and wasting our energy. Instead of focusing on the current moment, in the present moment, we are living in the past or in the future without, for what? Who is it serving? No one. It doesn't serve us. It doesn't help us. So we are worrying, being anxious about the future, craving, living in the past, and this is the root of suffering. And so what you can do, be present, enjoy being, be grateful, which is very powerful. Be grateful for everything you have, and stop identifying yourself with your body and your mind. You are not your body and you are not your mind. You are an infinite being, and we have all an experience on this world, and this is what you have to realize. When you see yourself as something bigger, as a conscious being, then you will stop being anxious and enjoy your life more. And when you see children playing, you will see how peaceful they live. They are in the moment. They don't worry about tomorrow. They just play, and they totally get lost in the moment. In whatever they are doing, they are totally into it. And this is actually, we can learn from the children. So activate your inner child and get back to this state. And I mean, at the end, you cannot change what is going to happen tomorrow anyway. So just live the moment and be yourself. So this is what I found out for the power of now. Of course, there are many more messages inside of it, and especially more tips how you can remove the pain body, how you can move into the now. And this is written like in a question and answer style, and sometimes it's repetitive, but it's also good to get to know and get this into your brain and to apply it. So I can highly recommend to read this book. And yeah, I wrap this up, and I hope you enjoyed watching. And I actually wrote a post about it, so you can read the entire post. And thanks for watching again, and see you next time.